Ever seen me? I'm on weekend mornings normally here on 11 Alive on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Well, I'll just keep we're on Facebook. I'll keep my coffee, right? You guys are probably 8:30 in the morning, waking up, having your coffee, just getting started at work. Or maybe you're taking a day off for Father's Day weekend, doing some boating or golf or just hanging poolside, grilling out. You know, today looks pretty good, but the weekend finishes not on such a great note, or at least your Father's Day starts on not such a great note. Okay, Jonathan, are you seeing it up here at all? I'm hearing golf course conversations on my phone here. I'm going to take it off of speakerphone.
Okay, we're live.
Okay, excellent. So we're live. I'm going to hang up my phone, Jonathan, and I see us live. Excellent. All right, hi everybody. Meteorologist Melissa Nord here in the 11 Alive Storm Tracker Weather Center. And we have a potential tropical system that will probably be called Tropical Storm Claudette a little bit later today, but this will bring some impacts to North Georgia for part of your Father's Day weekend. So wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you guys and have a two-way conversation. So you can have an opportunity to ask questions about how this will impact your weekend plans. So first, I'm going to, as we have more people hopping on this live stream, we are both on Facebook Live and we're also on the 11 Alive app. So if you're watching us on the 11 Alive app, thank you for doing so. But if you have a question that you want to ask, the best way that you can do so is actually by joining the conversation on Facebook. We want you to join the conversation and just ask your questions and we'll try to answer them. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with what we're watching, and then I'll take some questions in a few minutes once we get through the meat of the forecast. So what we're watching is called Potential Tropical Cyclone 3. That's just technical language. We're saying basically this thing's going to become a tropical storm probably based on model data later today. We just can't technically call it that yet because there's a certain number of parameters and things on satellite data that the National Hurricane Center has to see before they can call it a tropical storm or even a tropical depression. But this is where it is on satellite. The actual center of the storm is down in here, but all the thunderstorm activity is lopsided in this system, which with a lot of weak systems, that's what you see. And there's a reason it's weak, whether it be dry air or wind shear. So we're seeing all the thunderstorm activity over here. And again, just to get your bearings of where we are, this is Louisiana. This is the whole Gulf Coast, the I-10 corridor, and we are up off the top of the map. Up in North Georgia is where we're broadcasting from. So that is our potential tropical cyclone 3. Here's the latest track from the National Hurricane Center, having this develop into a tropical storm. Okay, later today, Tropical Storm Claudette would be its name if it does in fact make it to that threshold, and then make a landfall overnight tonight somewhere in kind of that eastern coastline of Louisiana rather, and then from there, it gets steered because tropical systems don't know where to go themselves. It's getting steered a little bit off towards the east. And as it's being pushed to the east ahead of an incoming weather system, the cone of uncertainty takes this in through North Georgia and the Atlanta area. So this is going to bring us impacts, okay? It's going to bring us impacts for the weekend and your Father's Day weekend. Here are the spaghetti models. They're all in pretty good agreement that the central Louisiana coastline is kind of where we're going to see the landfall, and then all of them pretty much streamline the remnant low through North Georgia as we head into the second half of the weekend. So here's what I'm expecting. This is based on model data from this morning. Things could again change this afternoon, so check in with Chris Holcomb this evening, who's going to be tracking the newest changes in this developing tropical system. But for Saturday, for the start of our weekend, we're going to start Saturday dry, but once we go into the afternoon to evening, we're going to increase tropical downpours, maybe some embedded storms. Those are like the outermost rain bands of the system. Okay, the widespread rain, though, doesn't move in here during the day on Saturday. It moves in here overnight and into Sunday morning. So I actually think the wettest time frame for us in North Georgia over the weekend will end up being midnight Sunday to noon on Sunday. So it's like after your Saturday evening plans, the widespread rain's moving in. Sunday morning rather, for Father's Day looks to start very wet with widespread rain. and then it will taper off later on Saturday, or Sunday rather. I actually don't think your Father's Day is a washout the whole day. The latest trends in the model, speeding it up a little bit. This is okay for Sunday evening plans, so we might actually begin to dry things out. We'll just have some remaining flooding issues that will be lingering. Rain totals in some areas could end up being 3 to 5 inches or even higher than that. Also, as with many landfalling tropical systems, especially if they track just north and west of Atlanta, there is a low but not zero threat, so a non-zero threat of a brief weak spin-up tornado. This can happen because they just have a little bit more spin in the atmosphere with landfalling systems. So let's go through the forecast track, and then we'll talk more about your weekend plan. So here's the forecast track for this afternoon. Okay, today we're starting with sunshine. It's actually a really nice morning out there. It's not quite as crisp and cool as it was the last couple of mornings, but it's still, not too bad. It's 8:30 in the morning, and I think Atlanta's temperature right now is in the low 70s. But by the time we get into this afternoon, clouds will start building in. It's going to be a hot afternoon. The humidity rises throughout the day today, but it's not super muggy outside. You're just going to start to feel that added humidity, especially by 4:30 this afternoon. So we're going to be up in the low 90s, dry throughout the day today. You notice there are a few returns on the forecast track down in central Georgia. I think that rain chance probably stays south of our area through the day today. Let's go to tomorrow morning. Clouds thicken up overnight. We'll start your Saturday dry. It's going to be a bit of a breeze, a light breeze tomorrow morning. If you're trying to if Dad wants to play a round of golf tomorrow, the morning tee times look okay. The afternoon time, not so great. Not perfect at least, but it won't be a washout. So here's first thing in the morning Saturday. Let's go into Saturday afternoon. Now this model doesn't have much on the forecast track. I think we're at this point by 1 p.m. 2, 3 o'clock. We're already going to have some scattered tropical downpours from those outermost rain bands, and could be an embedded thunderstorm as well. But the widespread rain really holds off until we get past midnight. I told you, midnight to noon looks like the wettest time frame for us. This is the forecast track for first thing Sunday morning at 6 a.m. It's kind of hard to see, but there's little wind bars on this map, little wind arrows that are showing us where the winds are flowing from and to. And you can see here, there's the little spin. That's where the center of the remnant low will be. So it's actually going to track right on top of our area. It may not actually be down there towards Noonan and Peachtree City, but somewhere here it's going to track through North Georgia right on top of us. So at that point, when it's tracking right over us, that's when the widespread rain, locally heavy, that's going to be the biggest impact for us. And I think that's going to be Sunday morning. That's when it's going to be the wettest for us across North Georgia. Now let's push the forecast track out to lunchtime. And at this point, we still have a lot of rain on the map. Okay, midday. But watch the progression as I push it from midday out towards the evening. Look how we're drying out. So at that point, the center of the storm, the remnant low, it's out here in South Carolina. So the later, for Father's Day, looks like the later in the afternoon and evening we go, the more and more will start to dry out. It's going to be very soggy in terms of the ground outside, but if we're trying to get in maybe at least a walk with Dad or trying to grill out, you might be able to get that in Sunday evening. Sunday morning looks very wet. Now, with all this rain coming in, I'm going to show you some weather models because I think that it's fascinating to compare the different models. There is a new flash flood watch as of this morning for parts of the metro area. So in these bold green counties, including kind of Gwinnett and then areas south and west of that, you're in this flash flood watch. If you're not in the flash flood watch, it doesn't mean you're not going to get a lot of rain. It just means it's probably not quite to that threshold of the greatest flash flood risk. So this is going to run from Saturday afternoon all the way through first thing on Sunday morning. Okay. Sorry, just getting a message from my producer. Looks like we're doing good on YouTube and the app, but Facebook has no sound. So if you're on Facebook, I'm sorry, you're probably not hearing us. I could write that because you're not going to. I should write that because you can't hear it. All right, so we'll just keep going through this. So the flash flood watch is going to run through Sunday evening. If you're in this area, you could potentially see 3 to 5 inch totals. They may end up being locally even higher than that. Okay, so that's where we're most concerned about flooding risks. I'll show you the big picture map first for the overall rain amounts. The highest rain amounts that we're going to get with this landfalling system is going to be on the east side of the storm where all the thunderstorm activity is. So eastern tip of Louisiana, down through southeastern Mississippi, southern Alabama, but that deep tropical moisture plume where the highest rainfall totals are, those are going to extend up into parts of western Georgia as well. So we'll kind of zoom in on the map so you can see places in this bright orange color, like down towards Heard and Troup counties, Meriwether counties, potentially, 3 to 5 inches, could be locally higher. Now I'm going to show you some weather model data for these rain amounts. Don't take these numbers verbatim, but what I like what this shows, this is the European model updated this morning. What I like what this shows is the cutoff between very high rainfall totals with over 3 inches and places that may only get an inch or even a half an inch. This might be kind of overdoing it a bit, but the further you are from where the center of that storm tracks, the lighter the showers will be and the less showers that you'll see. Wherever the center of that storm tracks, that's where the widespread heavy tropical downpours are going to last for several hours Sunday morning. So where that ends up being, we're still more than 24 hours out from that. We're still more than 36 hours out from that. So that might change. We might end up seeing that highest threshold push a little further south or a little bit further north. But the idea is if you're in that flash flood watch, all of our models are kind of showing you could potentially see 3 to 5 inches of rain total. All right. Now, I also mentioned we don't have a massive severe weather threat, but the tornado threat is not zero for the weekend. So here's the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center for Saturday. Down towards Heard, Troup, Meriwether counties, we have this little level 1 threat. So that will just be for, with any landfalling tropical system, a brief weak spin-up tornado. And then for Sunday morning, I think Sunday morning will be our greatest tornado threat here across North Georgia, but it's not incredibly high on the scale, but we could still see a couple of brief weak spin-ups. That level 1 threat area is then in our southeasternmost counties for first thing Sunday morning through midday. So just to kind of recap for the weekend. Today, we have sunshine in the morning, increasing clouds in the afternoon. We're up in the low 90s, very hot. Saturday, clouds are here in the morning, but the rain chance really starts to pick up later in the day. Your Saturday is not a washout, okay? Even in the afternoon, we'll be tracking those scattered downpours, the outermost rain bands, but it's not going to be a washout for anybody. So Saturday afternoon, you could still go to the pool, you could still hang out by the lake, you could still play a round of golf, but keep an eye to the sky and ear open because anytime you hear thunder roar, you gotta go indoors. You are close enough to be struck by lightning. So Saturday is not a washout. It's a 50% rain chance, but there's the potential there still that some of your plans could be impacted. Then Sunday morning does look like you should, if you had Sunday morning plans that are outdoor plans, move them. Move them to either Saturday or move them to the very ending of Sunday, because I do think by Sunday evening we'll start to dry things out just a little bit with the showers tapering off gradually. So it's an earlier time frame for us. Again, midnight to noon on Sunday is going to be our wettest time frame. Locally, there could be some areas that get 3 to 5 inches of rain. It's not going to be an incredibly windy day on Sunday, but it will be breezy, so we'll have some gusts that could be over 20 miles per hour, and then our tornado risk is low, but it's not zero. So that's just kind of a recap from this potential tropical cyclone of what we're expecting for the weekend. Now, I know that we have some audio issues on Facebook, which is where I was going to get a lot of the questions from, but let me see if there were any questions coming in that I can still answer from the 11 Alive page before we realized there were audio issues and probably stopped that live stream. Let's see here. Everybody's saying no sound, no sound, no sound. Okay. Sorry about the sound issues. take the weekend day part by day part again, because I'm sure a lot of you, I'm going to also show you, as things are opening up more and more, we have more, outdoor events that are going on that people are going to. And this weekend, there's the Juneteenth Festival. So for the 3-day festival, which is down at Centennial Olympic Park, today is going to be hot, so stay hydrated, but it's dry. The parade is at noon on Saturday. And I do think for the parade, we'll probably stay dry, but I do think for those later afternoon activities, you might be dodging a couple of those tropical downpours. Sunday at the start of the festival does look very wet. And I think this goes for any outdoor events that are planned for Sunday morning. I think a lot of organizers for events will probably, cancel or delay things or shift them around because Sunday morning looks very wet. But later on Sunday afternoon, as the festival's winding down, those last few hours may get by okay. So I know that's going on this weekend. Now, for anybody who is joining us from another maybe state or something, wondering about the forecast as well. So the tropical storm warnings, we don't have one for Atlanta because we're not going to get to that threshold, but right near where we're expecting the landfall, we do have tropical storm warnings. So I'm going to actually go to the Hurricane Center website and read off the exact locations of where they start and where they finish. But basically, if you're in these areas, tropical storm force winds and tropical storm conditions are possible. The peak storm surge for this event is only about 2 to 3 feet, but there are some houses that are, in those lower lying bayous and stuff right in southeastern Louisiana, Plaquemines Parish, these areas that potentially there could be homes that are, impacted and people impacted by this. The storm surge could get to 2 to 3 feet at its peak, also in Mobile Bay, but that tropical storm warning, it's going to go, let me see if I can get the advisory pulled up here. Hang on one second, bear with me. So the tropical storm warning goes from Intercoastal City, Louisiana to that Okaloosa-Walton County line, so very close to Fort Walton Beach and Destin area. Lake Pontchartrain and New Orleans area also in that tropical storm warning, where there could potentially be some gusts over 35, 37 miles per hour as we go through landfall tonight. So again, landfall is going to happen overnight. Big picture rainfall, the highest rainfall totals, locally could be 4 to 8 inches or higher in some of these areas right near landfall. And then those rainfall amounts that could be over 4 to 6 inches extend through southern and central Alabama, and then in western Georgia, we could also see those 3 to 5 inch rainfall totals there. So with that, because I know we're still seeing, Songbird is asking, will Tuesday morning be good for air travel? Yeah, so let me show you the rain chances into early next week, because we were watching also the potential for more showers and storms ahead of a cold front Monday and Tuesday. Now, these days, as opposed to what we're expecting Sunday morning, these days are going to be more afternoon, scattered in nature, showers and thunderstorms. Monday is probably, the storms are going to be just afternoon, diurnally driven based on the heating of the day. Tuesday, a cold front swinging in here, so that'll kind of, depending on the exact timeline of that cold front, that'll help to shift when we see the best chance of some of those scattered showers and storms on Tuesday. Okay, so I'll just recap one more time, and I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So we get updates in very frequently, and we're waiting for them to go ahead and name this system, or at least call it a tropical depression officially, instead of just potential tropical cyclone 3. So my next update that I get in comes in at 11, unless they deem that they need to name it or change the name of it sooner. So we'll be on at 11:30 on 11 Alive if you want to join us. You can also stream us. We'll be streaming on YouTube as well at 11:30 this morning. So I'll have the latest on the system. And I also get one new weather model set of runs in from some of our models before that show as well. So we'll be updating that timeline. But again, just to kind of recap today, we're starting not too bad this morning. Turns very hot, low 90s. A little seasonably hot though. Our average this time of year is up in the upper 80s. We're just a couple degrees above that. And clouds will build in throughout the afternoon. Now, the system in the Gulf, again, it's potential tropical cyclone 3, which is very confusing naming. But all you need to know is this is likely going to become a tropical storm later today. The landfall is going to happen overnight tonight, eastern Louisiana. It's going to track kind of right over the New Orleans area and Lake Pontchartrain, and then it gets steered, because tropical systems, they don't know where to go themselves, they get steered by other weather systems. So this will get steered more of an eastward direction, and that takes the center of the storm, the remnant low, right over North Georgia. So what that means for us is throughout the weekend, okay, we're going to have some increased rain chances. And in particular, some heavy rain will be possible. That's our biggest widespread threat, is heavy rainfall, and that's going to happen first thing Sunday morning. Okay, Saturday during the day, in the afternoon and evening, we'll have some increasing chances for some tropical downpours, embedded storms as well. Then overnight, the widespread rain starts to build in. Sunday morning, very wet outside across North Georgia. The last of those rain showers will taper off later in the day on Saturday. Some areas may only get an inch or two of rain up in far North Georgia. Some areas in parts of our region might end up getting 3, 5, even 6 inches of rain. So there is that potential for some flash flooding. There's also a low chance of a brief weak spin-up tornado, and that main threat time frame is going to be first thing Sunday morning, I do believe, as well. So the forecast track, just recapping the timing before we wrap this up. Today, clouds are increasing during the day. We're up in the low 90s. We'll go into Saturday. It starts cloudy but dry. Once we get into the afternoon, we'll start tracking those outermost little bands, tropical downpours, just increased tropical moisture and some embedded thunderstorms. So Saturday afternoon to evening, we'll have some of those moving through, but you'll still have some dry hours in there. Once we get into Saturday overnight, first thing Sunday morning, this is when the actual center of the storm is tracking right over North Georgia. So when the center of the storm tracks over us, it's wet out there. We're tracking some heavy rainfall, that off chance of a brief spin-up tornado as well. And the flash flooding risk is at its highest. So we'll track that through Sunday morning. This is Sunday at 11:30. Then I'm going to take things out to, let's take it out to like 2:30 in the afternoon. So you can see already some improvement by mid-afternoon. So the widespread rain is Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, we will still have numerous showers around, but those will gradually taper off the later in the day on Sunday that we go. And then by Monday morning, we're going to be dry. By Monday morning, we will dry things out, and we'll still have some afternoon pop-up showers and storms, but it will not be directly related to this tropical system. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, if you guys have questions and you didn't get to ask them to me, if you go find me on Facebook, Melissa Nord, WX, or you can find me on Twitter, just shoot me a question. I'm always on social media. I will do my best to answer your question in a timely fashion and how it's going to impact your weekend plans. But if not, we'll have this blog that is linked to this Facebook Live kind of updated constantly. So all the new information of the storm, when it gets named officially, all that will be here on our 11 Alive and our 11 Alive app. And I'll see you guys at 11:30 on the news.